The queen didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. What did you tell my daughter? The question echoed through the throne chamber like a blade sliding free of its sheath. Every soldier in the room went still. Every advisor lowered their gaze. Even the air itself felt heavier. And me? I stood alone in the center of it all, wondering if this was the moment I finally died. My name is Kale Rin, human envoy, former soldier, and apparently, the last person to speak to the princess before she disappeared. I asked you a question, the queen said again, her voice quieter this time, and far more dangerous. Her eyes, bright, unnatural, ancient, locked onto mine. I answered her, I said. That wasn't what she asked. But it was the only answer I was willing to give. A ripple of tension spread across the chamber. Bad move. Everyone knew it. I knew it. But I didn't take it back. The queen descended from her throne. Each step deliberate, controlled, measured, like everything about her. They called her immortal. Not as a title, as a fact. She had ruled for centuries, maybe longer. No one really knew. And now, she was standing right in front of me. Tell me, she said softly, what you said to her. The princess, her daughter, Princess Elora, wasn't like her. That was the first thing I noticed. The second? She didn't belong in a palace. Not because she was weak. Because she was curious. Curious people don't survive long in places built on control. You don't have to stand so rigid, she had told me the first time we met. I'm on duty, I replied. You're always on duty, she said with a faint smile. That sounds exhausting. She wasn't wrong. But I didn't say that. Because saying the wrong thing around royalty gets you noticed, and being noticed gets you killed. The connection. It started small. Questions. Observations. Conversations that weren't supposed to happen. What do humans believe happens after death? She asked once. Depends on the human. And you? I hesitated. Nothing, I said. She tilted her head. That sounds lonely. It's honest. She didn't argue. She just looked at me like I had said something important. That was the problem. She listened. The difference between them. The queen commanded. The princess wondered. One ruled through certainty. The other searched for truth. And in an empire built on absolute control. That difference was dangerous. The day everything changed. It happened in the garden. A rare place. Quiet. Unwatched. Or at least, less watched. She found me there. Of course she did. She always did. You're avoiding me, she said. I'm working. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. She stepped closer. Not intimidated. Not offended. Just persistent. Why won't you answer me honestly? She asked. I looked at her. Really looked. Because honesty, I said quietly, isn't safe here. She didn't flinch. Didn't step back. Then tell me something unsafe, she said. That was the moment everything went wrong. What I told her. I shouldn't have said it. I knew that even as the words left my mouth. Your mother isn't just ruling this empire, I said. She's controlling it. Her expression didn't change. But her eyes did. What do you mean? She asked. I hesitated. Then decided. If I was going to say something dangerous, I might as well say it completely. She doesn't allow uncertainty, I said. No questions. No doubt. No alternatives. That's leadership, Elora replied. No, I said. That's fear. Silence. You think she's afraid? She asked. I met her gaze. I think she's terrified of losing control, I said. The truth she wasn't ready for. And you? She asked. What are you afraid of? I smiled faintly. People who think they're right, I said. She didn't respond. Not right away. But something changed in her after that. I could see it. Feel it. Like a crack had formed. The disappearance. The next day. She was gone. No announcement. No explanation. No trace. And now, I was standing in front of the most powerful being in the galaxy. Being asked what I had said to her daughter. Middle, the truth unfolds. You filled her mind with doubt, the queen said. It wasn't a question. It was an accusation. I answered her questions, I replied. That is not your role. Then what is? I asked. The room went colder. Your role, she said, is to obey. The hidden reality. You want the truth? I said. Dangerous. Very dangerous. But I didn't stop. She was already questioning you, I continued. I didn't put that in her mind. You gave it direction. No, I said. I gave it honesty. The Queen's secret. She stepped closer. Too close. You think you understand me? She asked. I shook my head. No, I said. I think I understand what you're hiding. That got her attention. The immortality problem. You're not just immortal, I said. You're trapped. A flicker. Barely visible. But I saw it. And that terrifies you, I continued. Silence. Because I was right. The real fear. You've lived too long, I said. You've seen too much. And now. I took a breath. You can't imagine a world where you're not in control. The breaking point. That's enough, she said. But it wasn't. Because now. I understood. And once you understand something like that, you can't unsee it. Ending, the truth revealed. She asked me if you were afraid, I said. The room froze. And what did you tell her? The Queen asked. I looked her straight in the eyes. I told her the truth. Final ending, extended for retention. The silence that followed was absolute. What truth? She asked. And this time, her voice wasn't steady. I didn't hesitate. I told her that you don't fear enemies. A step closer. You don't fear war. Another step. You don't even fear death. Now I was right in front of her. You fear being wrong. The words hit harder than any weapon. Because they weren't an attack. They were a mirror. And she couldn't look away. She wanted to know why you never listen, I continued. And what did you say? The Queen whispered. I exhaled slowly. I told her that you stopped learning a long time ago. The chamber felt like it was collapsing in on itself. Because that was the truth no one had ever dared to say. Not to her. Not in centuries. And now, it was out. You've built an empire that can't question you, I said. But that means it can't grow. Silence. Then. She left, the Queen said quietly. Not a question. A realization. Yes, I replied. And she won't come back, I added. That was the part that hurt. Even for her. I could see it. The crack. The first real one. Where is she? The Queen asked. And for the first time, she didn't sound like a ruler. She sounded like a mother. I shook my head. I don't know. That wasn't entirely true. But it was enough. Because the real answer wasn't a location. It was a direction. Away. Away from control. Away from certainty. Away from a world where questions weren't allowed. I turned to leave. No one stopped me. Not the guards. Not the advisors. Not even her. Because they all knew. Something had changed. Not in the Empire. Not yet. But in her. And that was far more dangerous. Because an immortal queen who begins to question herself is either about to become something better or something far worse.